So similar figures are figures or shapes. They have the same shape, but not necessarily the same size. And why that's true is because they have proportional corresponding sides and congruent corresponding angles. So when we're talking about these corresponding parts, corresponding sides or corresponding angles, what are we actually talking about? And the way I kind of just straightforwardly describe it is they have the corresponding parts are the parts that are in the same relative location, or they line up if you make the figures overlap. So enough with the talking. Let me just show you I've got a couple of pairs of similar figures here. Um, so let's talk about figure A and figure B, or rectangle A and rectangle B. I should have called these something else. Let's call them D and E. Feeling super creative today. Here we go. A and B. So what are the corresponding parts of A and B? Well, we could just line them up like that. So this side here corresponds to this side here. This side corresponds to this side. I don't know. We could color code this. Let's get like this side uh, corresponds to this side. That's hard to see. I'm sorry. This side, let's make that blue. Corresponds to this side. So these are or to this side. I mean, it corresponds to itself. So and you could also keep going. This side, let's do red. Corresponds to this side. And then the angles, same kind of thing. This angle corresponds to this angle. So it's the ones that line up or that are in the same relative location. Sorry, that should be a different color. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say brown. Okay. So that was pretty easy because these rectangles have the same orientation, so it's easy to line up. What if you're given two triangles like this, D and E, and I would ask you, what are the corresponding parts? Label the corresponding parts. Well, it might be a little hard to tell. Um, one thought is you might think, well, this side kind of lines up with this side. They're on the same side here, but that's not quite right. And actually, let's rotate this figure so that it has the same orientation, or it's pointing the same way as the other one, and then it becomes easy to see what the corresponding parts are. So you can do this mentally, or if you're like me, just use your fingers or fold the piece of paper or do whatever you need to do to actually physically um, turn the shapes around. I find sometimes it's hard to just do it in my mind. So do whatever you need to do this. It's kind of easy for me on the computer here. So I flip this around so it's facing the same way. Now it's easy to see that this side. Let's get our pen tool again here. Where am I? Oh, sorry. So this side corresponds to, I don't know, let's make that red again. Corresponds to this side. This angle corresponds to this angle. So these sides are corresponding parts, these angles are corresponding parts, and etc. So there'll be three corresponding sides. Three pairs of corresponding sides, three pairs of corresponding angles. So the corresponding parts of similar figures are the parts that are in the same relative location, or in other words, they line up if you make the figures overlap. You get them pointing in the same direction, and then see what is lined up with what.